What's up, everybody? Andrew asked me about my podcast today. We got my boy, brother from another mother, first kid I met when I came to Regis, my roommate that never stayed in the room.
Never.
Steve Hicks.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, dude?
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for coming here, actually.
Yeah. Long story short, my place might be flooded by the time I get home. So we're at Steve's place.
Load the animals.
Thanks for having us, Steve.
On the ark. Anytime, man. You can sleep here tonight if you need.
Well, I might have to. I was actually going to bring a towel to like take a shower here.
I got an extra
I
towel.
was thinking about it now that I don't have any hot water.
I got your hot water.
Shit. So I've known Steve for 12 years, 13 years.
Time flies in Colorado.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I had the same conversation with Will. We actually had no idea how we met each other.
It was definitely at a party.
At Park House in a party.
Yeah.
Steve was my roommate up at Regis.
2008.
Yeah, 2008. That never stayed in the room.
Twice.
You stayed there twice. Really?
Maybe.
Possibly. And then didn't tell your dad and just told me to tell your dad.
My room in that house was freezing, so maybe in the deep of winter I crashed there a couple times. Like Will actually lived in my old room at that house.
Yeah, before you, right?
Yeah,
because he's 1 year older than us.
And if he's listening, he knows that the inside of the windows would actually get frozen with ice. So I had to. There's this little heater on the wall that I propped the bed against and tacked the sheets over, so it was like heating the bed underneath.
It's actually genius.
I am a genius.
Yeah, we know that. Real quick, why don't you got something coming out today? Today's Friday.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Today. This is coming out today. So this is coming out Friday. So today, the 12th. Friday. Today is February 12th.
I love Friday. Yeah, today I got some music coming out. It's out right now. It's a 5-track EP called Difficulty. And that has a good ring to it, I think.
Where do we find it? How do we find it?
Everywhere. Just search Difficulty by Auracane. And it's pretty cool because most people, when they do releases, like a big release, like an EP or an album, they like to put their good shit in the front because then you'll get bored of it and skip. Or a real album, they'll just put whatever they want. Like real people will just make a real album. But with this one, it doesn't get better necessarily, but it starts with easy, then it goes normal, hard, expert, legendary, and it just kind of gets cooler the whole way. But I think the whole EP is really cool. That's
what's up.
Yeah.
If you send me the link, and I'll put the link in. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put the link in the description below. Check it out. Why don't we just start from the very beginning? Where are you from? What's your story? What's your favorite color?
Ooh, in 1989, May of 16th, a child was born in Westchester, New York. We'll fast forward a little bit. I love the color blue, but sometimes it changes. Yeah, I like purple.
Blue's a good color.
Blue's I think a classic answer.
Yeah, it's underrated in my opinion.
But it's the best color. It really is.
Yeah, totally.
But if I was feeling fancy, maybe I'd get a little orange. I like orange.
That's not even a Bills color. That's kind of shocking to me.
Red, white, and blue is not exactly the coolest colors.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, it's kind of cool. It looks a little aggressive, though, this buffalo. It looks like a dead buffalo.
How many Bills games have you gone to?
At least 17.
So Steve's a lifelong Bills fan. Rough year.
This is the best year of my Bills fandom.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess the way it kind of went down, though, was rough, right? I mean,
Yeah, we lost to Kansas City, and they just, they're good at everything we're bad at, and vice versa. It was tough to see them kind of fall flat in the Super Bowl, but I think they kind of had a lot of things stacking up to that. Like, they were down to practice squad O-line. Like, they kind of
had
just
no
got
guards, right?
Chipped away, yeah. So even if you got two playmakers, you don't have time to block the pass rush, and if they double coverage though too, it was over for them. So that was tough for them. But
yeah, I agree.
It was They
just looked flat. They didn't look very motivated.
I couldn't believe the Bills lost to them as bad as they did.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, and I've told my Kansas City friends this. They like Travis Kelce wasn't giving first down salutes. Tyreek Hill was just looked like he was just running in a field.
Tyreek was, I think, mentally out of that game.
Yeah, I think that they all kind of looked just starstruck, which is kind of crazy because you come off a Super Bowl thinking, been here, done that, I know what to do. And
it blew my mind that no one during the regular season thought to put two people on both those players.
Yeah, true. The whole game.
And all of a sudden it'd be easier to contain Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, there was a funny meme of like Patrick Mahomes jumping everywhere and like throwing passes, and like Tyreek Hill was out there playing with flowers, and like Travis Kelce was just sitting in the field, just like hanging out.
It was rough, man. It was rough.
But he was all over the place. It was a rough game.
After
to watch,
the second
though.
3-and-out, I kind of knew where this was going.
Yeah, I think halftime I was like, I don't know if they can pull this off.
But last year, man, they came back that Houston game. They came back from like 24-3 or some shit.
Right, but I think they looked a little better doing it though.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing. They just didn't look like they knew what they were doing.
They never had that spark.
Yeah,
and Mahomes was running for his life on a turf toe, which is awful.
On a turf toe. That's a good point.
So yeah, Bills made me super proud this year. The bar is super low. So like getting to the AFC Championship game was like a new thing for me. So that was the best thing ever.
That's true.
I started watching football and actually I started watching it in 1995.
Really?
1 year removed from the Bills' 4 Super Bowl runs. So I didn't see any of that shit.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was watching. I just went to a Bills game and it was a spectacle, dude. It's a spectacle like nowhere.
I could only imagine. They always talk about it being absolutely insane.
It
Like from the
shocked me.
tailgating to the game to the people in the stands, like all the above.
It felt like a surreal dream that you just want to kind of get out of, but you can't stop watching.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I should say the things I saw. I'll say the PG-13 things, which are pretty crazy. I saw this. So my first game was a Patriots game. I saw plenty of tables. They were throwing through tables in the 90s. Yeah, at Buffalo. Yeah. It was my first NFL game. This is when I became a Bills fan. So, Patriots, they were kind of bad still. We were good, but we were getting bad. We fucking hated the Patriots even before Tom Brady.
Sure.
And I saw fights in the bathroom. This guy this like gang of Bills fans got this Patriots dude and gave him a swirly in the bathroom.
No way.
So I was like, that was cool. At the same time, there's this dude taking.
Yeah.
He's just looking at everyone like, yeah, give him a swirly. I was like, dude, there's no way.
There's no way.
And I was a teenager. I was a young teenager, so it was like blowing my mind. I was seeing this shit.
Yeah,
I saw people having sex. I saw this. The best thing was this guy was sliding down a railing, and he fucking tipped over and fell off down a whole level onto the people below him in level 2. From level 3 to level 2.
Like on a stairwell in the stadium? Jesus.
Like the big gap.
Did he survive? Did he kill anybody on the
way? He got up, and whoever he landed on wasn't doing so hot.
But broke his fall.
Oh, I hope that dude's alive, but not the guy who fell. That's how you thin the herd, but
yeah, for real.
That poor guy.
Yeah, that's insane.
And then at the end, like that happened every time I went to see the Patriots in Buffalo. I saw them tip over a car that had a Tom Brady sticker on it. I saw a guy get knocked out with Bills fans are not very good people. And after this year, we're put in the spotlight and everyone's like, oh, everyone loves Buffalo, but the fans are kind of fucked.
They're kind of crazy.
They're kind of crazy.
I mean, but that's almost like Midwest, upstate.
Yeah.
Like,
but the ones that get out,
lifestyle.
The ones that get out are different.
Yeah.
I think we're still a little crazy, but the ones in Buffalo, you're not gonna like Bills fans if you go in there as the opponent. You're gonna be like, you know what? I kind of fucking hate these guys.
I fucking hate these people. All of them.
They're nuts.
That's wild.
And they're kind of bad.
So from Buffalo, you came out here.
Yep, came to Regis 2007.
Yeah.
I went to Regis because it was free.
Yeah.
My dad taught there.
Your dad's kind of a legend at Regis for people who don't know.
Dr. Hicks.
Yeah. Taught
It was
English.
funny because his email was, I got Shicks, Stephen Hicks. Caitlin got Chicks, my sister.
Oh, that's awesome.
My dad's...
Wait, CH... Oh, shit. I didn't even think about that.
My dad's David Hicks.
Yeah.
So he got Dicks.
DHICKS.
That was his email, and I don't think he laughed enough at that.
I think that probably the best story about your dad that I remember was with John. It was like the first... with John... John, if you're listening... This was awesome, and
John, Mr. John.
Yeah, dude, you're well aware of what happened. But our friend John, it was like school ended for the year, and we all stayed at Regis for like a week or two after school ended, partied for a week or two, and then I went back to Columbus to work. I think you went back to New York.
Yeah,
No, you
usually go, but sometimes I stayed.
Yeah, it's 50-50. So we were partying. There was a place downtown Denver called Front Porch, and I think it was name night. And it might have been John's name because he was the most trashed out of all of us. Kid passed out at the bar, and the bartender comes up to us and goes, "Hey, man." And before he even like finished his words, we're like, "Dude, we got him. We'll get him out of here."
I wasn't here for this, by the way.
You weren't?
I never had a fake ID. I missed all these downtown things.
No shit. No, this was after. This was. Oh, maybe this was about right at the same time.
Still 20.
Oh shit! Because I never had a fake ID either. We before the bartender, we're like, "Dude, nothing happened. Like, we'll get him out of here. We get it. No problem." And he just holds a Sharpie in front of us and goes, "No, this is for you guys. You can draw on them or do whatever you want." We're like,
that place is legit.
"Yeah, no problem." Yeah.
Fine.
Hopefully they're still around. I don't know if they'll be able to get through this, but hopefully they make it.
They don't even have a porch, really. That whole name was a scam.
Yeah, whole name was a scam. Well, they like
porch.
opened up the windows and like that was their biggest porch. Long story short,
yeah, it was a porch.
We drew a phallic symbol on his forehead.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. And he went home. We all went home. Passed out.
There's the one thing that happened this night that I remember because I wasn't with you.
Yeah, because you were at the house.
So I come down to the kitchen to get some water or something.
This is good.
And John's on the kitchen floor, and I can't remember if he was laying in. I'm pretty sure he was. And on the stove, there's a burner on, and then there's a plate.
No, it was a George Foreman.
No. Oh, yeah.
All right, well, whatever you tell me what
There's
you
a stove
remember.
on
Yeah.
with nothing on it. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. And then next to it is a slab of chicken on the Foreman, uncooked.
Yeah.
But a really big bite mark missing out of it.
It's like he turned the oven on expecting it to cook it in the oven, but he accidentally put it in the George Foreman.
He ate the biggest piece of raw chicken.
Yeah.
And then threw up, like, probably moments later, I assume. And then
that's
just passed out.
But very
Johnny
accurate.
Legend.
Yeah, kid was a legend. That was awesome.
So continue.
Yeah, no, okay, so
that's the kind of night.
Well, that was
John
the whole
had.
story. I was just gonna finish it with that. I remember waking up in the morning and we opened up the George. Oh no, yeah. Then he went, the whole point of the story. And then he went downstairs and there was George Foreman with a piece of chicken that was half cooked, bite missing. He goes to your dad's class in the morning. No one says shit because no one saw him in the morning.
Wakes up and goes.
He just wakes up and goes. Didn't look at himself in the mirror, nothing. And goes to your dad's class, sits in class, and your dad just goes, "Did my son do that to you?" And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then supposedly like the person next to him taps him on the shoulder and goes, "Yeah, you got a dick on your forehead." Yeah,
and going like
going
his mouth.
into your mouth.
There's one on his forehead like a rainbow, I think.
Yeah.
And then one going right into his mouth.
Yep. Yeah. And he's like,
class.
"You can go home and just come back when you're ready." That was a funny Dr. Higgs story that I remember.
John would wake
that.
up trash though.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
Dude partied.
Yeah, I think just had a little too much fun from all that.
Yeah.
Kind of going into the music that you're coming out with and the music that you're doing now.
Yeah.
So when we were hanging out at Regis, what was your influence? Like where do you get your inspiration from? Because I'll give you some time here. When we were at Regis, it was Jay-Z. It was a lot of like New York hip hop rap. Kanye when he was cool and didn't lose his shit.
Yeah.
And like, it was very like drum and bass heavy.
Yeah.
And your music now, as everybody will hear, is different. So where did that come from? How'd that come about?
So
what's your mindset for that?
If you know me, you know that I was Wampo for a while.
Right.
And Wampo started as kind of like so I came out to Regis. I met all these California kids, and they kind of showed me, it was like a gateway drug to music. They showed me all this shit like RJD2, Andre Nicotina, like all this West Coast stuff that no one on the East Coast had heard of. And it was a lot of electronic music. And I was like, okay, electronic music kind of is sick. And before then I was like punk rock, hip hop.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Rock,
I mean,
maybe.
Typical like Midwest.
Exactly.
Hip hop, New York,
It was
East
like
Coast hip hop.
fresh out of the punk rock scene of high school.
Yeah,
so we were
100%.
all like, ooh, we're skaters.
Yeah. I guess, big skater scene. That's a good point.
Yep. So then I discovered all that music, and I was like, this music is really sick, and there's a lot of instrumentals that could just use lyrics.
Yeah.
So I started making those mashups, and that's when I did Wampo. I would do like those, Jay-Z released like 2 albums of just acapellas for people to fuck with.
Yeah.
Which I thought was genius. And so I'd put it behind like a Skrillex beat or something, and all of a sudden it was cool, and I didn't have to do much.
Right.
And then after a while, I was like, I could just make music. So I got Reason. It's a digital audio workstation that not many people use. Daft Punk uses it.
What do most people use? Like Ableton?
Logic, Fruity Loops Studio,
yeah,
Ableton.
Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops is more
Fruity Loops
beats.
Is still around.
Yeah, like everyone uses Fruity Loops.
I know, that's wild.
It's the discount DAW, but it's honestly really good. And if you have a Mac, you need Logic.
Yeah.
Logic is supreme for Macs, I heard. Never used it, but so I started making EDM music when EDM music was kind of cool.
Real quick, what cool means. When it first started popping off, like this was like pre-Chainsmokers,
brand new.
yeah.
This was not EDM. This was electronic dance music.
Yeah.
I could go on for hours about that. We don't even have.
Eric Pride.
Eric Pride's.
Tiesto.
Yeah, and there was like indie shit like MGMT.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, Avicii was just coming out.
This
Porter
was
Robinson.
Even like pre-Grizz. Like Grizz was
Pretty Lights was kind of a thing in Colorado.
Was just definitely starting.
And so that's when I started to make this weird electronic. I would call it like electro house or progressive house.
Yeah.
Deadmau5 was probably my biggest influence of that one.
Fair enough.
It was so easy, dude. The dude just puts a bass drum and then finds. This is what he does. Instead of music theory, he just finds these chords that sound cool.
Yeah.
And then he fucking repeats it, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you put a bass drum to it, and all of a sudden it's cool, and you didn't have to do anything to make that.
Maybe put a lyric over it and like kind of wrap it up.
Yeah,
call
some
it a
like lady singing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I could do this, and I did for a long time. Except I didn't market it, any of it. I just was like, this is gonna blow up one day. And then everyone and their mother started making electronic music, and then it turned into EDM. And then there was no more. EDM turned into a genre of its own. It was made for festivals.
Yeah, nowadays, it was like live music bangers, the Coachellas, Lolas, that style, Ultras.
And people started making that music, like really bad songs. They were releasing this song that they worked months on. It was really fucking bad, in my opinion. And I was like, okay, I don't have any more influence from this anymore. So that kind of died off.
Yeah.
Wampo kind of died away. And then last year, this time exactly.
Well, real quick with Wampo, you guys did a few live shows.
We did
Denver.
shows, yeah.
Yeah.
I had Ralph, thank God, because I sucked at live. I hate live shows.
Yeah.
I get panic attacks up there. It's weird.
I think it's amazing.
I loved it kind of, but I get a little beer in me, and then I can, do some. But Ralph did everything.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have to do. What I learned doing live shows is that when people are playing at a big show in Red Rocks, they're not doing anything.
Well, yeah, I would say like 90% of the people are pre-recorded.
I'd say like 99.
Really?
Yeah.
I get it,
because they got the whole lights, the whole visual, the set's pre-recorded, everything's pre-recorded, and you're not really doing anything anyway unless you're like, you got a beat pad up there.
Yeah.
I like how Big Gigantic does it. Sometimes they have a whole fucking marching band up there.
Do they really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's crazy.
That's like, I think like that kind of gets overlooked.
Yeah.
Because it's like everything from, like, this is going to be totally off the rails, but like halftime shows, the concerts, most concerts are all pre-recorded.
Most of anything
most of anything, just because of the logistics of it.
Yeah. Like you can't afford to to lose sound.
You can't afford to lose sound or a mic to go down, or you can't afford a guy to do like live lights.
Yeah.
As the show's going. So like that's why I feel like you know, from a set list to planning it 100%, I feel like that's 90% of the performances unless you're playing in a garage or like.
And it takes a ton of pressure off people, I think.
Right. Yeah. Especially when DJs, it's a lot. This is not the right wording, but it's a lot easier to fake it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can stand behind a table and go like this.
Yeah.
And
that's
like
kind of my beef
happens.
with this thing. If I see an electronic dance music producer going fucking crazy with the knobs, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you definitely know nothing's happening.
But everyone doesn't.
Yeah, and especially when the power plug's not even in the CDJs. You're like, oh, okay, I see what's happening.
And he hits the fader and nothing changes. You're like, what?
How?
How
did that happen?
You just faded it with your mind.
Yeah. All right, keep going. Sorry, after Wampo.
Wampo. So Ralph moved to California. Wampo's on me. I'm producing music. And then I kind of fell out of love with Electro House. It kind of just got stagnant.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of stopped making music for years.
Right.
And then last year, exactly this time of year, I was like, I want to make music again, and I tried putting something out for Wampo and just nothing. I was like, oh, after 3 years, you lose your entire fan base. They don't.
Yeah,
you're dead to
100%. Yeah.
So it's like I might as well start from scratch. I didn't even like the name
like
Wampo,
dude.
Wampo was not a good name. It was just fun to be called Wampo.
How'd you come up with that?
It was my gamer tag. It still is.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
From how long ago?
Like when I was a pro Halo 2 player.
Damn. So like that's quite a
It's
while
like
ago.
10 years.
Yeah.
I'm Wampo.
So
I am Wampo, but I'm now Auracane as well.
Yeah. So how'd you come up with Auracane?
I don't know. I was trying to make this like kind of spacey, atmospheric music. Vibes was a big thing. I kept using the word vibes this time last year.
I think that was pretty popular now.
I don't use it anymore.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
It's killed. I'm embarrassed. But then also at the same time, I was drawing my inspiration from a lot of new music I was discovering. I decided to make a mission to discover new music.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't look in electronic. I have to look in these obscure subgenres. And you got to dig for those.
Right.
And SoundCloud sucks now, so you can't find them on there.
Do you think is it just oversaturated?
No, they fuck their algorithms up.
Oh.
And SoundCloud rappers definitely oversaturated the market, but they don't let you discover shit anymore. At least I don't. Like, they don't put good stuff out there.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what happened with, like, even with Twitch now, too. Like, both you and I both
they
do
just
Twitch.
did something with Twitch, didn't they?
Yeah, and now, like, I think there's too many people because, like, your interests are so all over the place now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say you follow this guy, this category is now, like, 5 million people.
Oh, that sucks.
You know what I mean? So I think
find these
that's why
niche
you have a
markets.
niche because there's not a whole lot of music production
Mm-hmm.
happening on Twitch.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I think that might be a little more when I'm trying to play like Call of Duty or whatever, I'm just oversaturated. I mean, I'm still getting decent views, but like
Yeah.
not.
And the biggest
It's
thing
just
I've
different.
learned to grow on Twitch is like there's a lot of producers that everyone makes music now. There's
Right.
a lot of producers that are going to roll through. And they can have good shit to give you, and sometimes they're annoying, and they tell you to do something silly, and you're like, just shut up. But a lot of the times they're like, hey, would you play my track? And at first I was like, no, get out of here. And then I was like, you know what? This is a good way to build a relationship.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
not shut
It might
everyone
work.
out and meet new people.
Yeah.
And I met some really cool artists doing that. So I think that's the biggest way I've learned to grow on Twitch is like, sometimes you do like an hour of just listening to people's stuff, and all of a sudden you got new fans and followers, and
Yeah, I
cool.
think that, and also like just the consistency.
That's one
That's
thing
the
I
hardest-
have not done. Is
Yeah, and it's the hardest thing to do. Like if
I was
you,
like, I'm gonna do it every Tuesday. And
Yeah.
then Tuesday my internet shit. So I was
Yeah.
like, well, I can't do it today.
And
Maybe
I'm out
tomorrow,
today.
Wednesday. How about tomorrow, guys?
yeah, and then shit comes up or like just
No.
life happens, and you're like, now I can't do Tuesday. Now I'm 2 weeks behind, and you're like, fuck.
The way to do it is to not have a job and do it every day.
Yeah, same time every single day for at least 9 hours minimum a day.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get any traction on
catch
it.
on eventually.
Yeah.
It has-
So back to
we were getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, your new
Hurricane's
album.
brand new. They
Yep.
were a year ago. Several things contributed to Hurricane. This is where it gets really nerdy. I started watching anime this time last year for the first time. Like I kind of watched
Like
it as
what?
a teenager, like Dragon Ball Z. Like
Gotcha,
everyone
yeah,
watches
yeah.
that. But last year I started watching good anime. Nicole, who's my girlfriend, started showing me this show called Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. It's like made by the same director.
Mm-hmm.
Most anime has way too many episodes, a lot of filler episodes. Like One Piece, I'm watching One Piece now. I'm on episode 400, and I'm not even halfway there.
That's insane.
Yeah, and so that's anime.
Yeah.
But then there's this guy named Shichiro Watanabe, who's made like 3 or 4 shows,
Yeah.
26 episodes only,
Huh.
and they're all a masterpiece. Like so,
Yeah.
I watched these 3 animes, and Samurai Champloo in particular had this producer on it called Nujabes. I don't know how to say his name. Nujabes.
Yeah. That one.
I've only read it. And he's like this old trip hop artist. And I was like, I looked into it, and trip hop was a genre that I didn't know that I already had loved.
Yeah.
It's like RJD2 type music, like Ghost Rider. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that song.
Yeah.
You know a lot of trip hop artists.
I just like you were just saying, like just randomly, just
Yeah,
for
like,
no
you know
reason.
what, that
but
is
I do,
trip hop.
Yeah, I do know quite a few,
And it's just like
or I've listened to it quite a bit.
experimental hip hop beats.
Yeah.
It can just be beats. And I was like, holy shit, this is taking what I've already loved my whole life
Mhm.
and just making it a little bit of experimental electronic, and it's a little bit of sampling some cool things.
Yeah.
And I'd never sampled anything before. And all of a sudden I had this whole new genre of music that I was delving into that I fell in love with. And that to me is what you need to have to make good music. You have to have influence.
Yeah.
And an inspiration.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's cool. You're not taking it. It's not like you're taking it from another artist.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously your history and your backstory and all that kind of stuff all plays into it, but you're taking it from like, a different concept or a different form of media.
Yeah, instead of looking at Jay-Z, I was like, oh, Rick Rubin was his producer on this album. I love Rick Rubin's productions. So then I would study that. And I'd be like, okay, I get. So really what they do is they take these fantastic chords. They I don't do this, but I should. They simplify it and they throw a beat on it. And all of a sudden it's like this fucking amazing thing just to casually listen to. So instead of making this music for music festivals, I was just making this casual type of music where it's 90 beats per minute. It's not trying to jack your heart rate up.
Everything's at 130 or 160.
Yeah, 128.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm ready.
Here's a drop in 3, 2,
peak now.
1.
It's so structured. I hated that.
Yeah, that was kind of getting annoying at the part.
It's so annoying.
It'll be fun to see what happens like post.
You're right. There's no festivals.
So
are people still listening to Illenium?
So that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, what's going to happen now? Like, is music going to change completely, or is it going to be still like the same old 130 head boppers?
What did blow up this year, which is actually what I thought I wanted to make, was lo-fi hip hop.
Yeah.
That fucking blew up this year.
You kind of dabbled in it though, didn't you? You had a few
singles. There's like an element of lo-fi in my trip hop.
Sure.
I would just say I make experimental electronic music.
That's a great way to put it.
Because I make so many different I don't have like a sound.
Yeah.
I just kind of make something new. If I find a song I like, I'll be like, oh,
yeah, you just go
I like
for
this
it.
beat per minute. I like this key. Let me try this out.
If you had to pick one song you want everybody to listen to that you make, what would it be?
It's called Chump Change.
What album is it on?
It's off my second album, which I really fucked up. I released it in 2 parts. The first one was called Purple Plunder, which was my most popular for a while. Yeah. Chump Change is my favorite song I've ever made.
And then what was the song that was on what was the album that it was on, or the hip hop artist that was doing?
Oh, DMX.
Yeah, it was DMX. I couldn't remember.
DMX released this beat tape with one of my songs on it. It kind of flopped though. It was almost scammy.
Because I remember we were talking about it, and you're like, I don't know if this is real.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not really paying
sketchy.
for it. Other people are paying for it. I'm not gonna be high on it. He released a beat tape on SoundCloud. Yeah. Through an alternative. He made up a new SoundCloud for it. It wasn't DMX's SoundCloud. It was like DMX's beat tape SoundCloud.
Oh, so that's kind of whack.
I was like, that's whack, but yeah, that flopped.
DMX.
I should have seen it coming though, because DMX is schemy.
But he tried to be a cool idea though.
Yeah, it was. He reached out to me, was gonna charge me initially, and then he liked the beat. He's like, I'm just gonna throw this one on, dog. And the coolest part of that was just DMing DMX is like, he's exactly. He called me dog, so it's like, okay, that's good. Yeah, I got my worth out of that.
I'll take that and run with it. Sick. We'll kind of get towards the end here. Shout out whatever you want to shout out, socials, albums, where we can find it, all that kind of fun stuff.
I got a gnarly album in the making with. I'm gonna have a ton of rappers on it this time.
Nice.
This is new because my whole point was to make instrumentals for sick hip hop artists. And it's really inspired by Samurai Champloo's introduction. So if you don't watch anime and you want to get into anime, watch Samurai Champloo. It's fucking amazing. The soundtrack is all trip hop. It's so cool. So huge shout out to that and my girlfriend who really inspired most of my first album and all my music.
That's what's up. So where can we find your album?
Difficulty streaming on SoundCloud, iTunes, Tidal, Spotify. Go to Spotify and type in Auracane, and it'll be the first one that pops up. It's really cool looking.
Link below.
You're an Apple guy, yeah.
Yeah, and
I'll link it all. It's a big hyperlink with all of them.
Yeah, that works.
Right there. That's where it'll be.
My boy Steve, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me,
have you. As always. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks everybody for listening.